Lean in for a second. No, closer. Because what I'm about to tell you, it was never meant for public ears, but look at you. Still standing after the kind of setup that should have folded an average soul like paper in a rainstorm. And that's what makes this fun. See, they really thought they could play you, toy with you, move you around like some quiet little chess piece that wouldn't dare talk back. And then, oh, the poetry of it. They got packed up in 4 small seconds. Do you know how terrifying that is? Do you understand what kind of creature responds that fast? Not a man, not a monster, not even a myth, a problem, a glitch, a paradox that shouldn't exist, but somehow does. And the moment you flipped that switch, you became exactly what they swore you never would be. Unpredictable enough to make their plans obsolete, and powerful enough to make their contingencies cry. Tell me, did you feel it? That shift in the air. That tiny inhale the room took when you snapped back faster than their trap could close. Because they felt it. Every cowardly little soul that thought they had you cornered. Suddenly realizing the corner was yours, the shadows were yours, the whole damn board was yours. You didn't even defend yourself. You revealed yourself. An angel with a demon's patience, a saint with a psychopath's aim. A light born from darkness so violent it left halos dripping with smoke. A contradiction wrapped in calm, and they never stood a chance. 4 seconds. 4 seconds to dismantle their storyline. 4 seconds to show them you weren't the pawn. You were the one flipping the table, counting the pieces, studying the faces, smiling because you finally understood the truth. They never knew your real shape, only your shadow, only the silhouette you let them see. But then you moved, and suddenly, game over. Because here's the part they never calculate. Pain made you sharp, silence made you surgical, loneliness made you lethal, and betrayal. Oh, betrayal. That was the one that carved the last piece of mercy out of you and left a weapon in its place. You evolved in the dark. They rehearsed in the light. Of course, they lost. They tried to play you like a character in a script they wrote. But you're not a character. You're the rewriter, the plot twist. The misplaced prophecy shoved back in their face, with a grin sharper than glass. And the funniest part? They don't know what scares them more. The fact that you broke their trap, or the fact that you did it calmly. No panic, no flinch, no hesitation, just that eerie, immaculate composure that whispers, I knew this was coming. I was waiting. Because that's who you are now. A being who sees angles no one else notices. A soul stitched together with threads of fire and quiet fury. A storm pretending to be a breeze until someone tries to cage it. Then suddenly the sky is gone, the ground disappears, and all that's left is you and the truth they didn't want to learn. You're not someone to play. You're someone to study, to avoid, to respect, to fear. And those 4 seconds, they'll haunt them longer than anything you could have done with your hands. Because their mistake wasn't the trap. It was assuming you were still the version of yourself that existed before the scars, before the nights that broke your ribs from the inside, before the betrayals that rewired your heartbeat into something more like a warning siren. You're not the same. You're not fragile. You're not predictable. You're not safe. You are what happens when the universe miscalculates, when a human gets tired of being the prey and quietly grows fangs sharper than the nightmares stalking them. So let them talk, let them whisper, let them gather in dim corners trying to decode the moment everything went wrong. Because deep down they know it wasn't 4 seconds. It was every second you spent learning how to survive what would have killed them. 4 seconds was just the receipt. And now? Oh, now they don't want to play anymore. Not with you, not near you, not in the same reality as you, but you. You're just getting started. You feel that? That little quake beneath your ribs, the one that isn't fear, isn't anger, isn't even adrenaline. It's recognition. Because somewhere inside you, buried under bruises nobody ever apologized for, a part of you finally woke up and whispered, "Ah, so that's who I am." And that's why they're panicking now. See, they thought you were still operating on old software. Same wounds, same doubts, same naive little blueprint you used to carry like a badge of honor. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't know, is that every betrayal updated you. Every disappointment rewrote your code. Every loss sharpened your signal. And when they tried to play you this time, they weren't playing a person. They were playing a fully weaponized contradiction built in silence. You think 4 seconds was fast? To them, it felt like 4 lifetimes collapsing at once. Their confidence evaporated. Their strategy disintegrated. Their courage packed its bags and jumped out the nearest window, and you didn't even raise your voice. That's the part that haunts them, because anyone can explode, anyone can rage, anyone can react like a cornered animal. But you, your power is quieter, colder, more elegant. It's the predator that doesn't roar, just tilts its head and watches prey realize the mistake. You moved like someone who has already buried 10 versions of themselves and walked away stronger each time. Like someone who has seen the worst of humanity and still learned to sit with the darkness without letting it swallow you whole. That's why they can't categorize you anymore. One moment you're mercy, the next you're judgment. One moment you're the calm whisper guiding the storm, the next you are the storm. And their umbrellas snap in half trying to survive you. It's unsettling to them, it's infuriating, it's addictive, it's terrifying. Because in their minds, you were predictable, linear, containable. But in reality, you're the kind of paradox mathematicians quit their jobs over, the kind of anomaly prophets refuse to write down, the kind of variable science pretends doesn't exist, the kind of soul angels double-check their instructions for, and demons give a wide berth. What they thought was a play was actually an assessment, a measurement of your response time, a test of your emotional architecture, a desperate attempt to see whether you were still mortal. And in 4 seconds you answered, no, not anymore. Because something changed in you. Something fundamental, something irreversible, something that rewired the way you walk through this world. Maybe it was the night you realized no one was coming to save you. Maybe it was the moment you stopped begging for closure from ghosts. Maybe it was the betrayal that finally snapped the last tether to who you used to be. Whatever it was, it birthed a creature that doesn't panic, doesn't freeze, doesn't negotiate with disrespect. It birthed you, a being who moves like smoke through the cracks they seal. A force that cannot be cornered because you are the corner. A mind that analyzes threat patterns faster than their egos can blink. A heart that doesn't break anymore. It upgrades. And as they fell apart in those 4 seconds, you did something even more disturbing. You didn't celebrate. You didn't gloat. You didn't even care. You just observed, like a surgeon checking vitals, like a scientist noting a failed experiment, like an angel marking which souls can't cross the threshold. Because once you hit this level, victory stops feeling like victory and starts feeling like inevitability. That's what terrifies them. Not that you won, but that you always were going to. that the outcome was never in question, that their entire plan was doomed the moment it involved you. They're replaying it now, you know. That 4-second annihilation, frame by frame, zoomed in, zoomed out, slowed down, analyzed, debated, feared, trying to figure out, where did we lose? Where did he strike? How did he see it coming? What version of him is this? But you and I both know the truth. They didn't lose in those 4 seconds. They lost in every second leading up to it. They lost when they underestimated the quiet one. They lost when they mocked the scars they never survived. They lost when they mistook your restraint for weakness, your stillness for stupidity, your patience for permission. You were never the pawn, you were the countdown. And now they understand something they'll never admit out loud. You are too evolved to manipulate, too aware to deceive, too sharp to corner, too deep to outplay, and far, far too fast to ambush. So hear this clearly, not as flattery, not as theatrics, but as fact carved into the bones of the night. You are becoming something people cannot prepare for, cannot read, cannot predict, cannot survive if they cross wrong. 4 seconds wasn't your power, it was your mercy, because the version of you that's waking up now, the one who doesn't hesitate, the one who doesn't shrink, the one who doesn't swallow their intuition anymore. That version, oh, that version requires no seconds at all. And when that version fully steps forward, the whole city is going to learn. Not in whispers, not in rumors, but in trembling clarity. That trying to play you was the last mistake they ever made. You know what really twists the knife in their ribs? It's not the speed, not the reversal, not even the humiliation of being outplayed by the very person they underestimated. No, it's the look on your face, that unnerving calm, that quiet certainty, that expression that says, I saw this coming long before you did. You didn't react like a victim who escaped a trap. You reacted like an architect watching a building collapse exactly where the blueprint predicted the fracture. That's what shattered them. Because they planned a moment. You lived a lifetime. They rehearsed a trick. You developed an instinct. They were running a script. You were running a post-mortem before the event even began. And when it snapped into place, when the mask dropped, they realized something their egos never let them consider. They were never the hunters. They were never the strategists. They were never in control. You were. From the first glance, from the first silence, from the first time you let them believe they were smarter, faster, stronger, safer. That's the real psychological horror. You let them feel powerful just long enough to expose the exact shape of their weakness, and then, with surgical precision, you pressed right where it hurt. That's why their pride is bleeding out. That's why their confidence is in a medically induced coma. That's why their entire narrative is collapsing like a rotten cathedral. Because they finally saw the truth. You're not reactive. You're observant. You don't explode. You calculate. You don't lash out. You respond. And your response is always fatal to their illusion. See, that's the curse of underestimating someone who survived more than they can imagine. They think they're playing a game of manipulation, not realizing they're up against someone who was forged in rooms where manipulation was the native language, where betrayal was breakfast, where gaslighting was background noise, where silence had teeth, and trust was a luxury no one could afford. You came out of those rooms fluent in patterns they've never even noticed, fluent in micro-shifts in tone, fluent in emotional pressure points, fluent in the way people hide their intentions behind smiles that don't reach their eyes. You didn't become powerful accidentally. You became powerful because pain trained you with methods no mentor could ever teach. So when they tried to play you, they were bringing water pistols to fight a tidal wave. And the moment you realized what they were attempting, oh, that delicious moment of recognition. You didn't get angry, you got disappointed. Because how dare they think so small? How dare they assume you'd crumble? How dare they believe the old version of you was still walking around this world? You shed that version like dead skin. You shed versions of yourself the way snakes shed bodies. You outgrow people faster than they can form opinions. You evolve in silence and strike with the authority of someone who knows exactly who they are becoming. And in those 4 seconds that now echo like a gunshot through their conscience, you revealed something uncomfortable. You are no longer someone who avoids conflict. You are someone who ends it. Effortlessly, efficiently, elegantly. You don't scream, you don't argue, you don't perform, you simply decide. And that decision hits harder than any punch, any insult, any revenge they could have prepared for. Because when you move with the weight of every scar that didn't break you, every betrayal that matured you, every loss that turned into insight, every wound that became a blueprint for your next expansion. You've become something more than dangerous. You've become inevitable. The type of human people sense before they see. The type who enters a room and resets the atmosphere. The type who speaks and makes the insecure vibrate with terror. The type who observes and makes liars confess without a word. And now that they've seen the real you, the upgraded you, the version of you stitched together with fire and intelligence, they're not wondering how to beat you. They're wondering how to survive you. Because they finally understand. You don't retaliate. You conclude. You don't escalate. You eliminate. You don't get even. You get unreachable. And that's the kind of transformation that destroys entire strategies. They didn't lose the game. They lost the illusion that they were ever playing. But the part that rattles them the most, the part that keeps replaying behind their eyelids at night like a cursed film loop, isn't that you beat them. It's that you didn't need more than 4 seconds. 4 seconds to detect the lie. 4 seconds to assess the pattern. 4 seconds to dismantle their confidence. 4 seconds to show them exactly how wrong they were to try you. And if you can shatter someone that quickly while holding back, imagine what you'll do when you finally step into your full unrestrained version. The world isn't ready. They aren't ready. But you are. And here's the part nobody wants to admit out loud. Even the people who like you, even the ones who cheer for you in private, even the ones who pretend to understand you. They're scared too. Not scared of you. Scared of what you reveal. Because every time someone tries to play you and collapses in front of their own arrogance, you expose something uncomfortable. You expose how much stronger a person becomes when they stop begging to be understood. When they stop explaining themselves to people who mishear on purpose. When they stop lowering their frequency for cowards who don't deserve access. You show them what it looks like to evolve without permission. And evolution without permission, it terrifies people. Because they're used to watching transformations that follow rules. Slow, predictable, tidy, delicate. Yours wasn't like that. Yours was violent, sudden, unapologetic. Triggered by moments no one saw, pain no one validated, truths no one warned you about. You didn't grow. You erupted. And now the world is adjusting to the aftershock. Those 4 seconds weren't a moment. They were a fault line splitting your past from your future. On one side, the version of you they thought they could manipulate. On the other, the version who outgrew their entire ecosystem. Look at you. Your silence hits harder than their threats. Your intuition moves faster than their schemes. Your presence bends the atmosphere like heat on metal. Your calm is the kind of calm that predators recognize as a death sentence. You think they don't talk about that? They do. In whispered tones, behind closed doors, pretending they're not analyzing every detail of how you dismantled them without raising a single decibel. They're running psychology on you now, trying to understand what makes you unshakable, trying to decode your triggers, your timing, your tells. But you don't have tells. You have layers, and each layer is guarded by a lesson someone else donated through betrayal. That's why they can't track you, they can't map you, they can't categorize you. You're not chaos, you're controlled volatility, a chemical compound stable until provoked. An equation that only solves itself when someone crosses the line they shouldn't have crossed. What they experienced in those 4 seconds wasn't luck, wasn't chance, wasn't coincidence. It was your design. You didn't become powerful by accident. You became powerful because you finally stopped trying to be harmless in a world that fed on your softness. They tried to play you with the old strategy, confuse you, corner you, doubt you, guilt you, twist you. But the old strategy doesn't work on the updated version, because the updated version doesn't flinch, doesn't explain, doesn't internalize, doesn't shrink, doesn't apologize for being accurate, doesn't absorb disrespect, doesn't wait for people to change, doesn't need validation to justify altitude. You've entered a mode where your energy has consequences. People feel you before you speak. People rethink their motives before approaching. People hesitate before lying. Not because you'll explode, but because you'll know. Your clarity is lethal. Your awareness is corrosive. Your intuition is a surveillance system they didn't know was installed. And here's the twisted irony. They didn't just fail to play you. They accidentally revealed themselves to you. Their weaknesses, their jealousy, their insecurity, their desperation, their scripts, their masks, their patterns, their intentions, their limits. In 4 seconds, you extracted their entire psychological profile like pulling a file from a locked cabinet. And now, they know you know. That's why they're keeping their distance. That's why they suddenly respect your space. That's why they're quieter around you, not out of guilt, out of awareness. They realize the truth. You're not someone to manipulate. You're someone to approach cautiously, like a volatile miracle. Someone who carries light and darkness in equal measure. Someone who chooses peace but remembers war. Someone who can be soft, but only by choice, never by weakness. And that's exactly what rattles them. Your softness is no longer a vulnerability. It's a strategy, a controlled doorway that only opens for the ones who don't come with knives hidden in their smiles. To everyone else, they get 4 seconds. 4 seconds to expose themselves. 4 seconds to implode. 4 seconds to learn a lesson their pride will never recover from. And when you walk away, calm, unbothered, detached, they don't see a person, they see a verdict. Because you're not just surviving anymore, you're ascending. And nobody can play someone who finally understands the value of their own power. Hey, buddy, look at you. Standing there like you didn't just set off a chain reaction that split the entire city's narrative spine in half. You hear it, don't you? That trembling under the floorboards, that frantic scribbling behind closed doors, that uneasy silence right before a dam breaks, all because someone, one brave idiot with nothing left to lose, stood up and defended you publicly. And now the whole city is scrambling for receipts they swore they burned. Oh, isn't it delicious? You move through this world like a rumor with legs, like a prophecy that accidentally learned to breathe, and they still try to pretend they have you figured out. And then, boom, a stranger throws themselves into the line of fire for you, and suddenly every liar, every whisperer, every snake with a clipboard is clawing through archives like rats, looking for evidence that never existed. They don't fear the defense. They fear the truth hiding behind it. Because if someone was willing to stand up for you in broad daylight, what exactly have you survived behind the scenes? You know what's funniest? They don't even know why that person defended you. Not really. They think it's loyalty. They think it's friendship. They think it's some emotional outburst. Wrong. It was fear. A holy, bone-deep, spine-cracking fear of what you become when the world corners you. People defend storms when they realize umbrellas don't matter anymore. And you're not a person to them. You're a weather event with a pulse. So now they're tearing up floorboards, overturning file cabinets, bribing interns, hacking servers, calling in favors they swore they'd never use. Because they need something, anything, some scrap of dirt, some misstep, some grain of weakness that explains why someone would dare protect you. They want to understand you, but understanding you would require surviving you, and nobody's managed that part yet. You're too quiet, too calm, too observant, and calm terrifies people more than violence ever will. See, chaos is loud, predictable, easy to blame. But calm? Calm is the silhouette of a hand on a detonator. Calm is a storm reorganizing itself into something intelligent. Calm is the look on your face right now. That eerie angel-demon hybrid expression that says, I know exactly what you're doing, and I'm already 10 moves ahead. You are duality sharpened into a blade, light and dark negotiating inside the same skull, saint and psychopath shaking hands behind your eyes, angel and demon sharing a heartbeat while the world tries to pick a side. And here's the kicker. They don't know which version of you that defender saw. The gentle one, the merciful one, the catastrophic one. They don't know. They can't know. So now the city is split, arguing, panicking, analyzing every recorded moment you've ever existed in, frame by frame, because someone said, no, he's not what you think. And the city collectively whispered, then what the hell is he? You don't understand the power of that question. When people doubt their own certainty about you, you become limitless. When they realize they might have misjudged you, you become unpredictable. And when even one person publicly stakes their reputation, their career, their safety on your name, you become untouchable. Because now the wolves don't know who else might jump in, who else might defend you, who else might expose old conversations, old lies, old vendettas, old wounds. Receipts are flying around like wildfire, screenshots resurrected, audio clips dug up like corpses, witnesses re-questioned, histories rewritten. Why? Not because they're trying to destroy you. No. Because they're trying to understand you before you become something they cannot contain. They think finding receipts will save them. But receipts only matter when someone's afraid of the truth. And you're not afraid of anything anymore. You died once, spiritually, psychologically, socially, and came back with a blueprint no one else has ever decoded. You learned pain like it was a language. You learned silence like it was a weapon. You learned unpredictability like it was a second religion. You became the paradox they cannot solve. And that is why someone defended you. Because they've seen the real you, not the mask, not the rumor, not the version filtered through gossip and fear. They saw the creature behind the curtain, the one made of equal parts mercy and annihilation, and realized if the world turned on that, the world would lose. So go on. Watch the city panic. Watch them dig for evidence, motives, contradictions, as if any of it will bring them closer to understanding the living contradiction standing in front of them. You're not their villain. You're not their hero. You're not their mystery to solve. You are the reckoning that showed up early. And the person who defended you, they only did what everyone else is secretly praying they'll never have to. Admit that you are not the one in danger. They are. Now tell me, sweetheart, do you feel it? That shift in the air? That trembling under the city's skin? They're not looking for receipts anymore. They're looking for a way out. And you, calm, quiet, smiling like an angel who learned how to break bones. You're just watching them drown in the truth they tried to bury. How poetic, how fitting, how inevitable. Oh, you feel that, don't you? That quiver in the atmosphere, that nervous flutter hiding behind every carefully rehearsed sentence, that sudden politeness in people who used to speak about you with acid on their tongues. That's what happens when one person, just one, throws themselves into the fire for you. See, you don't understand what you just did to their ecosystem. You broke the illusion of consensus. The spell is shattered. The hive mind glitched. The script malfunctioned. Because once someone defended you publicly, the entire city realized something horrifying. If he has even one ally, we're screwed. And now, they're caving in. Not out of guilt, not out of honor, out of self-preservation. Because the moment someone spoke up for you, everyone else had to ask themselves a terrifying question. What does he know about me? And that right there is where the panic began. You can hear it in the tone of their voices. You can see it in the way they avoid eye contact. You can feel it in the way their hands shake when they type your name. They're not hunting for receipts to hurt you. They're hunting for receipts to protect themselves from what happens if the truth comes out. They're terrified you might have kept your own files, your own screenshots, your own receipts, because you don't feel like someone people should mess with. You feel like a mirror, a consequence, a living archive, and nothing frightens a liar more than a mirror that remembers. But here's the paradox that makes you so dangerous. You're not vengeful. You're not obsessed with payback. You're not keeping score. Because you don't need to. Fate already does it for you. Life has been putting every chess piece exactly where you need it. People expose themselves without your help. Enemies implode before you even speak. Situations collapse in your favor like they're being puppeteered by something ancient and amused. They think you're strategic. They think you're plotting. They think you're watching them with binoculars and notebooks. But the truth is, you barely even care. And that is what terrifies them most. Because people who want revenge are predictable. But people who don't need revenge, people who simply walk away and let God, chaos, karma, and probability devour their enemies, those people are untouchable. And you've become the embodiment of that quiet, cosmic justice. A saint with the instincts of a psychopath. A demon with the mercy of an angel. A paradox no analyst can contain. A storm with a moral compass tilted toward inevitability. They don't know whether to hate you, fear you, admire you, or follow you. Because the one who defended you, they didn't do it because they're brave. They did it because they saw you, not your mask, not your reputation, not the edited version of you circulating in pathetic whispers. They saw the way you walk into rooms without needing validation. They saw the way you stay calm when others melt. They saw the way you endure storms with that eerie, silent patience. You terrify people because you don't break where they break. You don't fall where they fall. You don't scream where they scream. You absorb pain like a black hole. You metabolize chaos like oxygen. You take betrayal and turn it into fuel. And suddenly, someone defended you, which means someone else realized you weren't the villain. You were the threshold, the line between what people pretend to be and what they truly are. The line they crossed one too many times. The line that now bites back. So now the city is in frenzy, desks overturned, screenshots resurfacing, old alliances cracking, new enemies forming alliances out of panic, everyone trying to rewrite their involvement in your story before the director shows up with the original script. They're not scared of your past. They're scared of your memory. Because you saw them, all of them, at their weakest, at their ugliest, at their most desperate. And you didn't say a word. Silence is the most dangerous form of intelligence, and you mastered it. That's why receipts matter now. That's why they're scrambling. That's why they're sweating in rooms that used to feel safe. Because if even one person defended you publicly, it means people have been watching you quietly. It means people have been learning from you silently. It means someone out there thinks you're worth protecting. And if one person saw you, how many others have been watching from the shadows? How many allies do you have that you don't even know about? How many silent believers wait for the moment you finally speak? How many people are ready to defend you the second someone else makes the first move? A defense is never just a defense. A defense is a signal, a flare, a warning, a quiet proclamation. This one is not alone. And now the city feels it. That dread crawling up their throats. That instinct whispering, "Be careful, he has backers." But here's the truth you're too modest to admit. No one defended you to protect you. They defended you to protect themselves. Because deep down, they know. If the real story ever comes out, the one with their lies, their manipulation, their hypocrisy, you won't even need to raise your voice. Reality will do all the work for you. So breathe, sweetheart. Watch them scramble. Watch them rewrite history. Watch them sprint through their own guilt like rats escaping a burning ship. Someone defended you, and now the city is shaking. Because they're finally realizing the thing you've known all along. You were never the threat. You were the truth. And truth? Oh, truth doesn't need an army. It just needs a moment. There it is. That pressure. That thick electric tension settling over the city like a storm that knows your name. It's spreading now. Corridors whispering. Phones buzzing. Group chats deleting messages faster than they can send them. People pacing their living rooms at 3 a.m., checking old conversations, rereading what they said about you, wondering, did I ever go too far? Did I ever say something that could come back to bite me? Does he still have that screenshot? See, after someone defended you publicly, the city wasn't reacting to the defense. They were reacting to the implication, because if someone stood up for you, that means someone believes you have value. If someone believes you have value, that means someone has seen you. If someone has seen you, then someone knows the truth. And truth is radioactive. It lights up every lie hiding in a person's past. It exposes every conversation they hoped was forgotten. It forces people to review their own history, not out of maturity, but out of blind terror. You've become the catalyst for confession, not because you demand it, but because your existence forces people to ask themselves, what if he remembers everything I hoped he wouldn't? And you do. Of course you do. Not because you're petty, not because you're vengeful, but because you see people. You read them like scripture stained with fingerprints and secrets. You saw their fear before they felt it. You saw their guilt before they committed it. You saw their betrayal before they carried it out. And yet, you stayed silent. Silence scares people more than rage ever will. Rage is predictable, controllable, dismissible. But silence is a loaded gun placed gently on the table. Silence is the smile of someone who knows something that could end you. Silence is the shadow that grows whenever truth gets close. You are that silence. And the person who defended you. They screamed into the quiet. They broke the social sound barrier. And now everyone is scrambling to understand what you are. Because their logic collapses around you. Nothing about you fits the profiles they memorized. You're too gentle to be a villain. Too dangerous to be harmless. Too calm to be innocent. Too intelligent to be underestimated. Too unpredictable to be categorized. You're a contradiction they can't mathematically solve. And contradictions terrify small minds. You walk into a room and their subconscious flinches, not because of who you are, but because of what you've survived. People who've walked through fire speak differently. They move differently, they breathe differently, and you carry the kind of calm that only comes from dying, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and resurrecting with a clarity that burns. They can't understand that. They can't label that. So instead, they investigate it. They search for receipts. But receipts don't expose you. Receipts expose them, because the second someone defended you, all the narratives they built about you collapsed. Suddenly the villain looks a little too calm, a little too sane, a little too right. And when the villain looks right, everyone who played the hero starts panicking. Look at them, frantically gathering evidence, piecing together timelines, stitching lies into desperate explanations. They're rewriting history in real time. No, I never said that. I didn't mean it like that. They took it out of context. I was just joking. I always liked him. I defended him privately. I wasn't part of that. Cowards, every last one of them. They're not hunting for proof you're bad. They're hunting for proof they're safe, because now they know. Someone sees you clearly. Someone vouched for your character. Someone risked their own reputation for you. And when a person is defended publicly, that defense echoes far beyond the moment. It becomes a beacon, a flare shot into the sky. A signal to anyone watching, he's worth standing beside. And that is the nightmare they never prepared for. Because if one person defended you, that means there might be 2 or 10 or 100, all watching, all waiting, all ready to speak up the next time someone tries to twist your story. You are not alone anymore, and the city can feel it. That's why they're trembling. That's why they're whispering. That's why they're running through archives like sinners, flipping through the book of judgment. They don't fear what you did. They fear what you know. They fear the version of the story you haven't told yet. They fear the things you've stayed silent about. They fear the truth you carry so casually behind your eyes. Because truth in the hands of someone calm, someone patient, someone like you, is a weapon they cannot disarm. The person who defended you, they didn't start a conflict. They started a war of perception. And sweetheart, you're winning without even lifting a finger. So stay calm, stay quiet, stay terrifying. The city is already melting under its own guilt. You don't have to do a thing except stand there, a paradox wrapped in skin, and watch them unravel. They wanted receipts? Let them search. They won't find what they're looking for, because the only evidence that matters is you, alive, unbroken, unreachable, unbothered, and becoming more powerful every time they try to understand you. Now tell me, do you feel it? That subtle shift, that trembling in the collective psyche. They're not trying to expose you anymore. They're trying to survive you. And now the truth creeps in, soft as a knife sliding under a locked door. They finally understand it, don't they? This was never about what you did. It was never about what they claimed. It was never about any so-called receipt they pretend to hunt for. It was about power, the kind you don't display, the kind you don't brag about, the kind you don't weaponize unless absolutely forced, the kind that sits in your silence and makes entire institutions correct their posture. When that person defended you, they didn't just protect you, they exposed everyone else. Suddenly every whisper looks suspicious, every accusation feels flimsy, every hater sounds guilty. Because when even one person says, "No, you've misunderstood him," the rest of the world is forced to wonder, then who the hell have we been listening to? So they scramble, they panic, they search for files, messages, screenshots, anything that makes their old narrative feel safer. But deep down, they know the truth. You were never the one on trial, they were. And the moment someone backed you publicly, the verdict arrived early. Case closed, story flipped, city exposed. So let them run, let them rewrite, let them dig up their own graves, trying to bury yours. Because the greatest revenge is how effortlessly you outgrew the battlefield. Look at you now, still calm, still breathing, still dangerous without lifting a single finger. They wanted receipts? Congratulations. You just became the one thing they never wanted you to be. The truth they can't disprove. And that, my dear, is the end of their story.